crypto ETFs inflow are seeing a huge spike, meaning there's a lot of new dollars from institutions and retailers depositing new money into these ETFs. And when you see volume there, usually that volume trickles down to the price itself of these cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin and Ethereum. That being said, what I said last week that if we reached $95,000, we would correct. It doesn't look like I was right at all that way, because we're holding very, very strong in the mid 90s. So does it mean that now we're going to flip it again, and May and the following quarter are going to be very, very good for Bitcoin? This is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. So let's get right into it. So folks, last week was very, very exciting. We saw Bitcoin getting out of the 80s zone. Now it is looking that most likely it could reach high 90s, maybe even $100,000 once again. Ethereum back at 1800, but Ethereum, if it wasn't top 2, I wasn't even going to mention it anymore. It's just giving bad vibes all over. Sui, on the other case, is going up 65%. So if you are a Sui holder, congratulations. I hope you got in at the very bottom. But let's take a look at some data like mentioned, and let's start with ETFs. So if you switch right here to ETFs inflow, you can see that when we have green, so positive inflow, meaning that there's money going in, not money going out, you see the price of Bitcoin is affected by a lot. When there's red, it means that money is coming out of these ETFs. It means that Bitcoin price gets affected. And you can clearly see right here that when you have green, you have a huge spike in price. When we have red, we do see these dips. And now it looks like we're going to start maybe another green rally like we saw right here. This could bring the price of Bitcoin to all-time highs or very close to all-time highs. But as always, you cannot just trust one indicator. So if we take a look right here at our charts, you can see that volume is creeping up once again. In the daily, we are almost at oversold. But when you switch to 4 hours, you see we have a lot to go still, and we have our trusty funnel right here. So unless this funnel shows that we're going to break down towards the low 90s again, it most likely will get more volume like we're seeing right here. Look at the volume, how is going back up, and this should do what we saw in the last video, just like November when we had a spike in price, a few days of sideways market. So the pricing itself needs to stabilize for another run, and then we had another run to, at that time, all-time high, which was $100,000. So maybe now we could see a push towards 103, 105, maybe even back to 108. 108 is too stretched, but it could be possible if we see the right opportunity here. Switching to Ethereum, Ethereum still on the daily doesn't look good because it has two huge resistances right here, the moving averages, and also prior prices make a huge resistance at the $2,300 for Ethereum. So this could be the next stop if we keep going. But as you can see from the Bollinger, it doesn't look like it has a lot of momentum. It does in the 4-hour chart, but again, the volume does not reflect what we saw right here or right here. See, it doesn't have that much volume unless now the volume starts to accumulate, because we're very, very close here with the Bollinger on the 4 hours, but we don't see the volume once again. So I would advise for you to keep an eye on this. If we're getting that momentum and we project towards the $2,000 for Ethereum, then yes, we could see Ethereum flipping back to the 2K. But again, Ethereum is sketchy. It is not acting like it is supposed to. It's just been slowing down and making us lose money. So unless you're very, very an Ethereum maxi and you're not going to get your bags go, this could be a good opportunity for you to get some money back on this next leg up if it happens. On Solana looks good. On the daily, we are again close to the overbought right here. When you switch to the 4 hours, you see it looks very pretty. So it is above the averages, which is awesome. It means that if it doesn't have any strength to go up, it's going to test, and it's going to test around the 130, which is the number that we want to see. And that number is like our comfort zone, our cushion. We know that the 130 is, because we saw it hold and protect us from going even further a couple of times now. So we know the 130s is a very strong and reliable support if we need to test that again. So for Solana, we have to keep an eye. Bitcoin is the one that is looking the most bullish right now, but again, that is usually how it goes. We see money inflowing, we see a huge opportunity here, and then the price of Bitcoin goes up, and then it trickles down to all the other altcoins. So the first ones that are going to see this rush of liquidity will most likely be Ethereum, Solana, BNB, and XRP because they are those at the top. And then it's going to trickle down to layer 2s of Ethereum, Solana, and meme coin affiliates, and so on and so forth. So this is what you need to keep an eye on. And if we switch to the pricing itself of these currencies, you can see that green all over the place right here, with some meme coins right here just appearing out of nowhere. But overall, everything is green. And the fear and greed index is still holding at the 51, even though the price itself of Bitcoin has gone up, because it was 50, 51 and 92. Now we're at 95. It's still 50 to 51. So honestly, for me, that's good. We don't want to see people overexcited, over fearful, or over greedy. No, we want to see them neutral, waiting for something to happen, because this way we know that is not a gut movement, just an emotion-based movement. We don't want that. We want strong movements that are able to hold and persist throughout the months. With that being said, let's go back to our copy trading, which is performing very, very well. We were 5.16 last video, and we had a little loss that brought us back to 5.14, making it just 0.01% less this month than the month of January, but we still have a few days to go. We could see another win right here, which would bring us above the 5.15% for this month. But again, 5% is what you can get on a savings account in your American bank for the whole year, even more than 1 year, maybe 14 months of keeping your money there, your dollar there. And you can do the same thing in a single month here in Bitopics just by keeping your dollar here. So again, if you haven't checked it out, check out Bitopics. Here we have the copy trading, which has not lost a single month. We did have red days, as I just showed you here, but overall we are winning every month. So in the 30 days of trading, we do have red days, but overall we have a positive outcome for every single month. And we're so close to the 2 million assets under management. So it will be awesome to see you right here participating and joining the group. If you have any questions or want to chat with anyone, just go to the Discord, which is the second link in the description. There you can chat, let us know if you have any thoughts or whatever questions you have, open tickets, you can do that in the Discord. So that being said, because I am very bullish right now and that movement, I'm going to go to May 16 and I'm going to see if there's any opportunities for me to open up a position. This right here, the above $97,000 seems feasible for the 16th. So I'm going to go with this one right here. This one is actually even better. So 97 for 43%. I'm going to go with this one right here. So I'm going to put $100 right here, meaning that if Bitcoin is above $292,000, I get profit. And if it is above $97,000, whatever price it is, I get maximum profit, which is 43.8%. So by depositing $100 right here, my maximum payout is $43. So fantastic. If it is below $95,000, whatever price it is, it's not going to affect me. I'm just going to lose the $100. So before getting in, I know the maximum rewards and the maximum losses that I can have. I can make $143 or lose $100. This one seems very good to me. I'm going to open this. So position is open successfully. It was this $97,000 right here. I think we can make that work for sure. So before we end, remember that this week has some important data which could affect your trading. So please be careful if you're trading, if you're actively day trading or 0DT, scalping, whatever you're doing. Remember that this week we have a few important announcements from the US. We have jobs, we have GDP data coming out, we have PCE coming, we have jobless data as well. So keep an eye on these huge events that could give you a lot of volatility in the market. So if you're trading, be very careful. I don't know if you're going to surf that or if you wear and wear, this can cause a huge motion in price when the news come out. So be careful when you trade. And that being said, that's it for today's video. I'll catch you guys on Wednesday for another one. In the meantime, take care and I'll see you then. Peace.